Have you ever felt like you're navigating life on a completely different wavelength, as though you're playing by an entirely separate set of rules? Not better, not worse, just different. While most people follow the well-trodden social scripts, you find yourself operating outside the usual boundaries, carving your own unique path. Welcome to the Sigma Experience, a world where independence and unconventional thinking set the tone. This isn't about the typical struggles of introverts or outsiders. It's about the challenges that come with walking a road less traveled. Dr. Michael Brooks, a renowned social psychologist, explains that certain individuals naturally adopt thought patterns and behaviors that don't conform to the standard social hierarchy. They're not antisocial or rebellious by nature, they simply process the world through a lens that's fundamentally distinct from the norm. These aren't grievances or cries for sympathy. They're honest observations about a rare and fascinating way of approaching life. It's a perspective that brings both unique opportunities and intriguing complications. And while it's not always easy, it's a lifestyle grounded in authenticity, autonomy, and an unshakable commitment to one's core values. Whether you identify as a Sigma male yourself or are simply curious about this mindset, understanding these challenges opens a window into a different way of being. These aren't the struggles of those who don't fit in. They're the natural consequences of refusing to fit into any predefined box. Join us as we dive into 7 specific challenges Sigma males encounter, not because they're trying to stand out, but because their very nature sets them apart. As we explore, you might even recognize a bit of your own journey within these stories. Ready? Let's begin. Number 1. Their direct communication offends the insecure. Imagine sitting down with someone and telling them exactly what they need to hear, straightforward, unfiltered, and with good intentions. No sugarcoating, no dancing around the truth, just pure honesty. For Sigma males, this direct communication style feels natural, but for many people, it can be unsettling. In a world where polite white lies and softened truths are the norm, Sigma males' straightforwardness often stands out like a bold headline in a sea of fine print. Studies indicate that the average person hears up to 200 lies a day, most of them small, socially acceptable ones like "that's fine" or "you look great." Dr. Thomas Harris refers to the discomfort many feel when confronted with unfiltered honesty as truth resistance. Sigma males don't intend to hurt or offend. Their bluntness comes from a desire to be helpful, to cut through the noise and offer clarity. Yet this honesty often triggers defensive reactions. Insecure individuals may perceive the Sigma's directness as criticism, even when it's intended as constructive feedback. Ironically, these same people often come back to the Sigma male for advice or opinions, knowing they'll receive unvarnished truth when others might only tell them what they want to hear. While their direct communication style may ruffle feathers, it also builds trust with those who value authenticity. Number 2. Feeling overwhelmed by the irrationality of others. Imagine watching someone try to cut a loaf of bread with a hammer while a perfectly good knife sits right next to them. To Sigma males, this is what it often feels like when they witness the irrational behavior of others. They frequently see straightforward solutions to problems, yet others seem determined to overcomplicate matters. Whether it's a never-ending meeting at work filled with irrelevant discussions or a family argument blown out of proportion, Sigma males often find themselves frustrated by the inefficiency and emotional chaos around them. Dr. James Miller describes this as cognitive dissonance overload, where logical thinkers struggle to process the unnecessary complexity others bring to simple situations. When Sigma males suggest logical solutions, they're often met with resistance. Their practicality may be dismissed as cold or insensitive because it bypasses the emotional undertones others prioritize. Over time, many Sigmas choose to remain silent, not out of indifference but out of an understanding that their solutions will likely be ignored in favor of more familiar dysfunction. This silence isn't apathy, it's a learned behavior. Sigmas often reserve their energy for situations where their logic is genuinely valued, rather than trying to persuade people who aren't ready to let go of their irrational habits. Number 3. Struggling to find like-minded people. With over 7 billion people on the planet, one might think it would be easy to find kindred spirits. For Sigma males, however, the search for like-minded individuals can feel like an uphill climb. While many people are content with superficial friendships or casual interactions, Sigmas value depth, authenticity, and mutual understanding. Dr. Mark Thompson explains that during deep, meaningful conversations, the brain releases different neurochemicals than during surface-level chatter. For Sigma males, these deep interactions are emotionally rewarding, while shallow exchanges feel draining and unsatisfying. Because of their unique perspective and preference for meaningful connections, Sigmas often feel like outsiders in social settings. They may be surrounded by people yet feel completely alone, as if watching life unfold through a one-way mirror. However, when a Sigma male finally connects with someone who shares their mindset, the bond is profound and unforgettable. Until then, they navigate the world as lone wolves, patiently waiting for the rare moments when they encounter someone who truly gets them. Number 4. Struggling to explain their perspective. Sigma males often see the world through a lens of interconnected patterns, where every choice leads to a web of consequences and possibilities. While others may focus on a simple, linear path from A to B, Sigmas are mentally mapping out an entire network of outcomes. Explaining this complex perspective to others can feel like translating an intricate painting into black and white stick figures. Simplifying their thoughts to match the understanding of others often strips away the nuances that make their ideas valuable. This disconnect can be frustrating for both parties. The Sigma male feels unheard or misunderstood, while others may see their detailed explanations as overcomplicating things. Over time, many Sigmas choose to stay quiet, reserving their insights for those rare moments when someone is willing to truly listen and understand. Number 5. Resisting authority by default. For Sigma males, authority isn't inherently problematic, it's blind or illogical authority that raises red flags. If a rule, tradition, or command lacks clear reasoning, their instinct is to question it. Dr. Robert Chen describes this as a natural authority testing response, which arises not out of rebellion but from a desire for clarity and fairness. This tendency is often misunderstood as defiance or stubbornness. In reality, Sigmas are more than willing to follow leadership that makes sense and demonstrates competence. When given logical explanations or sound reasoning, they not only cooperate but often contribute valuable insights to improve the process. Their resistance isn't about challenging power for its own sake. It's about ensuring that power is exercised wisely and fairly. This trait can make them invaluable in leadership roles or as independent thinkers, but it can also put them at odds with those who expect unquestioning obedience. For Sigmas, respect is earned through logic, not imposed through authority. Number 6. Small talk feels pointless and draining. Every morning, the same neighbor waves with the same predictable comment about the weather. Looks like rain again. Office hallways echo with nearly identical conversations about weekend plans, sports scores, or the latest episode of a popular show. In line at the coffee shop, people exchange scripted pleasantries like, "Busy day ahead," or "Can't believe it's Monday again." For Sigma males, these surface-level interactions often feel painfully monotonous, like hitting the replay button on an uninteresting scene over and over. While many people seem to find comfort or even joy in these casual exchanges, Sigmas view them as an unnecessary drain on their mental and emotional energy. It's not that they dislike people, it's that small talk rarely feels meaningful. As deep thinkers, Sigma males crave substance in their interactions. They value conversations that spark curiosity, explore genuine emotions, or challenge their intellect. While they can play along with surface-level chatter, nodding at the right moments or offering polite responses, the experience often feels hollow, as if they're walking through a social performance without true engagement. However, when a conversation unexpectedly veers into meaningful territory, when someone shares a heartfelt thought or asks an insightful question, it's like flipping a switch. In those moments, Sigma males become animated, present, and fully engaged. It's not a matter of being antisocial or dismissive. It's about conserving energy for interactions that offer true value and connection. Number 7. Being resented for their independence. Did you know most people spend up to 80% of their decision-making seeking others' approval? For Sigma males, this behavior feels entirely foreign. They're naturally independent thinkers who trust their own judgment over the crowd's opinion. Surprisingly, this self-reliance often makes others deeply uncomfortable. If you're a Sigma, you know what it's like to be resented for your independence. Think about the last time you made a major decision. While others consulted friends, family, or even social media, You quietly weighed your options and chose your path. No committees, no group chats, no need for validation. Dr. Sarah Reynolds, a social behavior expert, explains that humans are wired for social conformity. When Sigma males demonstrate true independence, it can trigger autonomy anxiety, in others a discomfort with those who don't rely on group validation. This independence shows up in every aspect of a Sigma's life. They'll take a job across the country if it aligns with their goals, regardless of others' opinions. They'll end relationships that don't serve their growth, even when everyone insists they should make it work. However, this often invites subtle pushback. People might label them as weird or antisocial, or try to create dependencies where none exist. Friends who once admired their independence might see it as a threat, and even family members might misinterpret it as a rejection of their support. What others fail to understand is that a Sigma male's independence isn't about rejecting people, it's about being complete on their own. It's not a wall they've built, it's simply who they are. Number 8. The reluctance to seek help, even when needed. Sigma males often pride themselves on their self-sufficiency. They value their independence and prefer to solve problems on their own, relying on their own resourcefulness rather than seeking help from others. This mindset is rooted in their desire to maintain control over their own life and decisions. However, this can sometimes lead to difficulty when they actually need assistance. The reluctance to ask for help can stem from a fear of being perceived as weak or vulnerable, or from an ingrained belief that they should be able to handle everything themselves. For Sigma males, reaching out to others for help might feel like a loss of autonomy or an admission of failure. This tendency can be isolating. While Sigma males may avoid asking for help, they still recognize the value of collaboration and advice just on their own terms and when they believe it's necessary. They are likely to turn to trusted individuals only when they feel it aligns with their personal goals or when they're certain the situation demands it. Until then, they'll often shoulder their burdens alone, driven by a deep-rooted desire to remain in control and self-reliant. If you found this video insightful or relatable, why not join our growing community? Subscribe to the channel for more content exploring the mindsets, traits, and behaviors of Sigma males. Your engagement helps us dive deeper into these unique perspectives. Be sure to like this video if it resonated with you, share it with someone who might appreciate it, and leave your thoughts in the comments below. We'd love to hear your perspective. Thank you for taking the time to watch. Remember, as a Sigma male or someone inspired by their path, staying true to yourself is the ultimate strength. Keep evolving, stay strong, and we'll see you in the next video.